Hello, everyone. Welcome to this lab. So, those of you who came to class this week, you had the option to see how we do the assignment this week. This is just the lab portion. The actual assignment is very similar, pretty much all the same steps, but you're doing something different. So, those who did come to class, you could use this as a reference when going back and working on the assignment that is due next week. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Once you go out to your Schoology and you go into your module and you go into the lab exercises, you'll download two items. They happen to be these items right here. This one right here talks about the what the instructions are and what are the point system. Now, this one in the lab is only 100 points, but the one that you do for your assignment is 125 points. The last part is you have to do a presentation, just like what I'm doing now. You could download some free software, go out to TechSmith, something called Snagit. It's free, usually 30, 60 days. But then I believe there's a free version for students. And then there's also, you can also use your phone, but you just have to go through and show me what steps you did and video it and submit it as a link to YouTube, Vimeo, etc. Don't send a .mp4 file or some type of video file because it'll be difficult for me to download. Okay, so let's get started. All right, first thing, this over here is Excel. This is considered a workbook. So anytime I would do new, it creates a workbook and it just gives you a fresh workbook. These are sheets at the bottom, but we're going to start with this existing sheet that I provided to you that is in the download. So our first step is, let me zoom in here. It says start Excel, open the downloaded file, name blah blah blah, save it as your last name. So what you can do here is you could just highlight this, copy it, come over to Excel. Now mine might look a little different because I'm using a Mac, but you're using a PC. If you're using a PC, you'll do the same thing, but a little different. So then I'll come over to save as. I will then change the name. And last name, first name, you put your last name, first name. I'll put Seaman Jeff. And hit save. Now, if you notice at the top, it changes it. Now, when you do the assignment, it'll look even different. Now, the assignment is worth 5 points, and here it's worth nothing. All right, so now change the name of sheet 1 to documentation. So this right here is sheet 1. So what I would do here is I'm going to come down here and do right click and do rename and just type in documentation and hit enter. That's it. That was pretty simple. Change the next one to AutoTCO. I'm going to highlight it and copy it just so that I don't spell it wrong. Maybe I might copy it. So then I'll come down to sheet 2. Same thing, right click, rename, paste, and then that's it. You can hit enter or you could click out. So the guys are done. Perfect. All right, so now we're going to go to the AutoTCO tab on the worksheet and we're going to add some values here. So I'll go to the AutoTCO worksheet. I'm going to try to make this smaller so I can see what I'm entering in. It told me to go to E4. E is this row right here, it's a cell, and 4 is right here, so we'll enter 15,000. Notice once I hit enter, notice the values at the bottom changes because there's already a formula in there. And we'll talk about formulas another time. E5, we'll enter 3.0, like it mentioned, and miles per gallon, we'll enter 26, hit enter. That right there, done. Moving on, we're going to do apply merge and center to cells range A1 to F1. So what you're going to do is you're going to click with the left of your mouse, highlight over to F1, come up to the top. Oh, mine's going to look different than yours. And we need to do merge and center. So let me see where it's at on here. So on the PC, you come up to here, it's right here. It says apply merge and center. But on the Mac, it's going to be a little different. So let me find it. And plus, what version of Excel am I using? I am using 17. So let's see here. So it's actually right here. It doesn't say it, but it says it on the PC. So I'm gonna click, if you click on this, it has all these different ones. I'll do merge and center. And that merges it and it centers it. I think on the PC it's easier because it's right there, you can't miss it. Copy cells range C16 through C22 and then move it over to D to F. So what we'll do is C16, zoom in here for you. C16 is right here, all the way down to 22. What I'm gonna do is, actually let me make sure I said that, C16, 2 cell D. Okay, so it wants me to copy from here over down here. I'm gonna copy it. I'm then gonna go over here to right here and paste it. So now that way we have totals for this information. Actually, let's do this. Over to F. Let's say go to F and I want to E. So let's do that again. So if I go all the way to F, then paste it, you can just do this. Now you have totals. All right, so that right there just adds stuff for us. Perfect, because we copied it. Next thing is to use the autofill. So it wants us to autofill this column right here, F15. So as you see here, we have year 2. Now we could come in here easily and say year 3, year 4, year 5, etc. But that takes time. Why take time when you can do something easier? So if you highlight these two right here, click on this little guy right here with the left of your mouse and just drag it over, you see it's year 3, 4, and 5. I can go 6, 7, all the way down. And it populates it for you. So that's the autofill. The autofills it in descending order. So that's a pretty nice feature. So that's done. Finish. Moving on. Select row 14 and insert a new row. So select this row right here. Right click on it. Insert. Now the problem with this is once it inserts, it adds this gray thing. So click on the gray thing, come up to the paint bucket, and choose no fill. Now when you do the PC, it'll be down here, but choose the no fill. The other thing is, now that we have that, I'm gonna click on A11 over to F11, down to F14. I'm then gonna choose the grid view and do all borders so that everything matches up. All right, moving on. All right, so type 5-year total cost of ownership analysis on cell B15. Perfect. Copy. I said B15. Here's what I'm gonna, okay, that's fine. Then it wants us to merge and center. So let's merge and center it. Why is that not available? Oh. Yeah, area. So you have to do your areas that you want to do. And now there is our 5-year total cost analysis. But what I don't like is I don't like this setup. So let's do Control Z. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna cut this and go over to A instead. Now if you notice here, if I think this looks better. If I do this, it looks better. So do that and ignore my directions. All right, add the file name header and footer. All right, so we need to add a header and footer. So like I said, this will probably look different on here than the PC. So let's go to insert. It's a text box, it's gonna be different. Everyone has it different. I think it was on the home page. each one. On the PC, it looks a little different. On the Mac, it's I just seen it. Home. I'm losing my mind. I just seen on one of these things there. Page layout, I think it was. Or did I just see it? I was looking right